Hello, hello, my friends. If you found this video, chances are you have absolutely fallen in love with this cute little cat game. You've beaten it 200 or 300 times and you have the achievement for I am speed. And you've decided, you know what, if I can beat this game really quickly, how about I just commit to that idea and I speed run Stray? But before you can do that, you need to have an accurate timing system because the in-game timer for this game is bonkers. We don't really understand why the discrepancies exist, so you need an independent timer. And what you need is LiveSplit. Now, LiveSplit can be found at livesplit.org. I'm going to include the URL down in the description so that you don't have to record anything. But basically, as you just go to the download tab, you will see LiveSplit and LiveSplit developer build. You don't want the development build, you want LiveSplit. These numbers don't matter, they're just the current version. If these numbers look different from you, it's probably because you're from the future. How are things going there? Did we solve climate change? In the meantime, let me just teach you how to LiveSplit. Click that, it'll download. Now, this is the .zip file, it's a compression file. LiveSplit can't really do anything with this. So you're going to show in folder, and then you are going to extract all. You'll get something like this, just extract it. The reason for this is because LiveSplit can't really do anything with a compressed format. It needs to be extracted, and once it's extracted, it'll open up this. Now, we're just going to get rid of the zip file. Open it up, and what you're looking for is this file right here, livesplit.exe. It'll get this. I get this on Windows Defender because I'm actively connected to the internet and I'm always downloading my updates. The reason it's suggesting that it'll put your app at risk is because it doesn't have a publisher in its metadata, so the computer is just instantly skeptical of it. LiveSplit is one of the most trusted pieces of software in the speedrunning community. We have been using it for decades. So if you're going to trust anything, trust this. This and OBS. Always trust them. So click OK. And now this is what you're looking for. It is this little icon. Let's close these. This icon is what you're looking for. This is LiveSplit. So can you run with just this? You can. You can just have the timer on screen. Now, it's probably the most boring way of running the game, but all you need is a timer. So the first thing, I'm just going to show you how to run it as is, fresh out of the box, just with this. What you do is you right click, go to control and click start. Bob's your uncle. There you go. It has started. And do you want to end it? Control, split. There you go. Done. 8.73 seconds. That is how LiveSplit works. It's refreshingly simple, and reset just brings you right back to the very beginning. So if you wanted to speedrun this, you could open up LiveSplit. You have LiveSplit here. You have the timer in the top right hand corner, and what you do is you start the timer as you click start game. Now, if you're on PC, we can automate this process, but first let me just walk you through hotkeying the start and split buttons so that you know what you're doing if you're on console. First thing you do, right click, go to settings, and these are what you're looking for. First thing, just click global hotkeys. That way you don't have to click on LiveSplit to be able to do something with it. You can allow gamepads as hotkeys. I'm going to do this and just two birds at one stone. All of this works with keyboards, but I'm going to show you how to do it on gamepad as well. Now, we've selected gamepads, so let's go start split. So I'm going to turn on my gamepad and I'm going to bound it to select. Notice how nothing's happening. That is because we have to click OK to load these into settings. So click OK. Now go back up and edit splits. Sorry, wrong one. Go back up and go to settings. Now we can do select. So select is set to start, and reset we're going to leave on number pad 3. Okay, so now we are in, go to start game, new game, start game, and we're going to press select at the same time. There we go. So we have started and the timer has started. If you're on console, that is what you do. If you're on PC, however, you get one major advantage. You get to use the Autosplitter that involves a load remover. So right click, control, reset. We're now going to enable the Autosplitter. So edit splits. Over in here in game name, type in Stray. Stray will appear. The run category doesn't really matter. You can put in like any percent. And it's here, auto splitting and load remover available by microbiologists and meta. So click, sorry. So you have stray, any percent, everything here. I keep forgetting that my camera's in that top left-hand corner. Auto splitter and load remover, click active. There you go. It is literally as simple as that. This icon, this confuses people sometimes, but it's got to do with Stray uses a real-time timing system because the in-game clock is a mess. We can't really make heads or tails of it. We don't know why it's not including everything. It seems to rely on checkpoints. It removes a load of resetting, and it's just, in the interest of fairness, what we've decided to do is just use an external timer. So how the external timer works is it's using an auto splitter, and that auto splitter is pulling data from the game itself to figure out when is the game loading versus when is the game running, so that we can just remove the loads. To do this, we need to have LiveSplit enabled to game time. Typically, game time is an IGT, which stands for in-game timer. We're using RTA, which is real-time attack. It's a real-time system. This is where the confusion comes from, is that we are going to use game time, but the only thing that game time is checking is loads. Otherwise, it's just a fancy real-time timer. It's a stopwatch that uses a traffic light system. When the game is loading, it just pauses. When the game is running, it runs. It's just that simple. So click OK, and now go back into your game. Notice how big the auto timer, the auto splitters over here. We're going to fix that in a second. So new game, start. And notice how it's automatically started. And the 0.56 is when it took that long to reach a load state. And then while it was loading inside the wall, everything just stopped. Now, the reason that this is that long is because there are 13 splits enabled for the auto splitter. Actually, let me just check if that'll just go straight through. You have to enable splits if you want to have individual level splits. Otherwise, it's just the way this will work is that if you don't have splits with the auto splitter, this will split on about 3 minutes 32 seconds, something like that, when you get to that first loading transition. To avoid this, you need to download splits. So let's control reset. No, that's fine. Let's open this back up. And you want to go to games, go to Stray. This is in speedrun.com. Go to resources, but I'm very quickly just going to plug something of mine for a second here. In the guides, if you're looking to learn how to run this game as well, I've produced an any percent route guide that is kind of a beginner/intermediate. It's not advanced because it doesn't take advantage of the two huge splits that take like 25 minutes out of the run. It is a really good way to get into this speedrun if you want to learn how to do it. It's my guide, so self-plug. It's a Google Doc. Have it open while you're running. But in the meantime, let's get back to resources so that we can download splits. If you're on console, any percent splits. If you're on PC, any percent splits auto splitter. Let's download this. So show in folder. Here we are. Now you can tell LiveSplit to look here, or, and this is what I do, go into your LiveSplit. I recommend you create a folder called splits. Splits. And then paste it in here. Now, let's close all this again. So open splits from file, LiveSplit, splits. Click no, and this should update. There we go. Now we have all our splits. Now let's bring the game back open again. And we're going to start again. 5, 6, and just say we want to split. Say we get to the end of the wall, it splits to the next one. Now, because this is like very obnoxious and kind of in your way, there's a thing that we can do, and this is really handy. Like for OBS, if you have a one monitor setup, so you need to have this on screen in front of you, here's a very handy setup. If you left click, go down to edit layout, click layout settings, you can adjust the opacity. So click OK, click OK. Now there you are. And what you can do is you can do display capture, and there you go. You are just ready to speedrun. Let's click that first person just for the laugh. Oh, it's not even the active window. Okay, so this is going to work fine for you. You've got your auto splitter. It's going to split based on where you are in the chapters, and you have that opacity. So it's still on top of the game, but you can still see through the game, so there's no issue there. So that's an option for you. But we're going to close out of this because we just don't need this anymore. I'm going to walk you through... I'm going to pause for a second because my dinner is just ready. Since I just got back from eating dinner, I don't actually remember what I was going to show you, but I do know I need to take you through like creating and editing splits and the actual like editor layout itself. So let's just go through that. First of all, we'll just go into the editor layout and just get rid of that opacity. There we go, all the way up now. Okay, so what we want to do is edit splits. If you want to just like rename these, it's just as simple as segment name, double click, and then you can put in whatever you want. If you want to insert a split between these two, get the one beneath it, insert above, and if you want to put one beneath it, insert below. Okay, now split time, segment time, best segment. Best segment is just your best time. Segment time is however long it took you to do that time, and split time is the amount of time that it's passed in the actual split up in the timer up until that point. So like you can move these, move up, move down, add comparison. Hypothetically, say you were running against world record. What you could do is you could add comparison and say world record. And then what you do is you manually input those times. And where this will become relevant will be in layout settings. So let's just put in like 12:23. Oh, I don't have... oh, I do have it enabled. And that say it's like 52:50. 53. Okay, so we go okay. So that's basically like the splits on the attempt count, just how many attempts you've started. Just play with this. A lot of this is just playing with it. The last thing to actually show you is additional info. If you go over here now, speedrun.com had to do 2 of these just because to be able to do like PlayStation 4, PC, PlayStation 5, we're going to do PlayStation 5 and we're going to do unrestricted. Now you notice it's only showed unrestricted, not PlayStation 5. So we're going to show you how to play with this, and how you play with this is in edit layouts. Now there is a lot to play with here. It's a different video. Like this is a separate video in and of itself. I might make that if there's a demand for it, but in here basically is everything you have loaded, and then when you go to settings you can edit what you've loaded. You can play around with this. You notice it changes these. So title on top, you can like put the timer, change the timer, have the splits. It's whatever is aesthetically pleasing for you. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to edit title. Go into the title, go down here, show game name, display category in one line, just displays in one line, but down here, category info, show platform. Now we have PlayStation 5. Perfect, that's what we want. Text alignment, put it along the left. There you go. Okay, so layout. This is just the basic, this is the settings for the layout itself. Ignore mouse wheel when running when not in focus, that's fine. Always on top, that's fine. You want that combined with the opacity that I showed you earlier. You can set the timers for things like for text. What I like to do is for like timer, go into choose, and I've downloaded this font. So what I do is I type alarm, where is it? Alarm clock. And then the timer now looks like an alarm. So, oh, it's not going to go because the game's not running. It is what it is. That's just its font. I find it fun. Go to title, splits. Now in here, kind of like display 2 rows. It's the aesthetics of whatever you want this to be. Show thin separators, automatically abbreviate if you need to, split height. It's all the different things. But as you notice, there's a gap here. You can get rid of that over here, total splits. And you can also, if you just want a few, and then it kind of cycles between the two of them, and always show last split, you can disable that. Have the last one down there so you can see that final time. There is a lot to play with here. Do you want to counting by hundredths, seconds, tenths. This is for your deltas. They're what appear over there. Show column, I'd recommend having this on. And comparison, like it says, world record. And if we have this to split time, this should show, we'll have to, what is going on here? I think my LiveSplit crashed. Yeah, let's close that. No, and let's open it up again. So go to downloads, LiveSplit, LiveSplit.exe. So here we are. Go back into edit layout. And if something just doesn't feel right, just close it and open it up again. So layout settings and into like timer, current timing method, game time. Do you want the timer to have hundreds of seconds? Do you want it to have tenths of a second or just seconds? You can increase and decrease that decimal. And then even for the timer format, you can include an hours. There is a lot to play with in editor settings, and it all comes through just playing with these and learning what these mean. Like I said, I'll do a video on these if there's a demand for it, but you don't need this stuff to run. What I've shown you is enough. You can run with this, and I'd recommend just get some runs. Get familiar with the route and just the timer you have in front of you, just play with that. And then once you've done a few runs and you want to spice up the aesthetics of your timer, then go into layout and just start playing away. Other than that, you have everything you need. In terms of troubleshooting, just make sure that you're comparing against a set to game time. Make sure that in edit splits, make sure that you have the splitter active, and in settings, just make sure, I have no idea why that's like that. Start and split, that'll auto split, and start, that'll auto start. That's everything you need. In the meantime, if anyone has any questions, just pop them in the comment sections down below. Other than that, happy running, my friends. Join the Discord, get familiar with the community. Happy running.